Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and I'm on a mission to spread peace, love, and positivity through music. Today, I'll be reacting to Mississippi Moon by the Jerry Garcia Band. First things first, love the alliteration going on, the two M's, it just flows off the tongue really well. Second, it's going to be really fun to revisit some more Jerry Garcia Band on the channel, because I think the lion's share of the attention, understandably so, goes to the Grateful Dead, but the projects with Jerry at the helm, truly in the form of Jerry Garcia's band, it's fun to hear the different dimensions of Jerry as a musician, a composer, a player, a genius, all of that good stuff. And I was thinking, with Mississippi Moon in mind, like, have I ever actually been to Mississippi for real? I've certainly traveled through the state a bunch and have spent time in the neighboring states. So if I guess you have been to Mississippi yourself or are from Mississippi, let me know where all I should go visit. What are the must-sees? I'd rather ask you all than Google. But before we jump into this, a massive thank you goes to Land the Creative for the generous donation and the selection today. Thank you very much, my friend. But now, let's jump in. Man, I can't see a single thing. Maybe this is an accurate depiction of what 1989 looked like. Wonder how we're going to start this. Okay. Oh, the whole recording just changed.
I know how you feel, leaning up at the bars, rocking back on my heel. She's a wild bird that wanders, too easy to stray.
These are the Jerry vocals I'm familiar with. They break right at the top.
To find her away.
Nice organ filling everything up.
I'll be coming soon from the Louisiana pines to the Mississippi.
Interesting melody in that Mississippi Moon, that slow ascension. Very chromatic, right? Can't help but to feel like so much of this atmospheric air just comes straight from the organ.
Wave on the ocean, a whirlwind on the sun. I took a notion that her ship could not land.
He's so soulful in this performance.
So light me a candle in the forest so deep. Honey, lay down beside me. Angels rock us to sleep.
Did I hear like some brass in there? There was a moment. I really like the chorus here.
To the Mississippi moon, from the Louisiana pines, to the Mississippi moon.
Da-da-da. It's almost like they're blending a bit of the feel you would get from listening to gospel, with those organs especially being like, I wouldn't say foreboding, but just being very larger than life behind Jerry. And then in the front, of course, is Jerry's vocals. And then in the guitar work, in just the overall melody, you have this influence of blues. So it's a cool kind of combination, like paired with a lot of the like strong sort of Americana-esque lyricism, puts you right into that sort of landscape of the South. Near Louisiana, Alabama, I don't know the full geography, that all the states that neighbor. Yeah, that is definitely a saxophone. That's nice. And the horn punching through. It's just nice to have those little moments, you know? Go take over. That's what I want now. Really wasn't expecting sax in this, but I'm really happy about it. It's like lightly dusting over this song. Great seasoning. Yeah, there you go. Shift the camera. You can even hear that Mississippi melody underneath that we were familiar with, that chromatic moment I referred to earlier. The structure is paralleled, but he's just allowed to solo over it with the sax. Oh, a bit of an organ solo maybe? Yeah. Now the camera guy's catching up. Shift to the player playing. it's so grandiose now. Oh, he's letting it scream. Who are these players? Just pull it all the way back. No problem. We're a dynamic crew.
Wave on the ocean, a whirlwind on the sand. I took a notion that her ship could not land. So light me a candle in the forest so deep. Honey, lay down beside me. Angels rock us to sleep.
Oh, the vocal harmonies with the saxophone. Lightens up again, back into the original melodies now. That kind of staccato feel that we got early on. It's more bouncy than curt. Wow. It's an extremely, extremely soulful song. I can really appreciate how in this formulation of Jerry Garcia band, I know there's many different member lists. If you look at the different eras of even Grateful Dead, how the roster can change with time. But with this specific iteration, when we have the organ filling up a lot of space, getting its time to solo and be larger than life. Same thing can be said about the saxophone, which is not as typical of the Grateful Dead and Jerry Garcia. So I, for one, always love when they infuse a bit of brass, a bit of saxophone in their songs. And it was done masterfully. I feel like the moments where, like early on, I was kind of like thinking in my brain, like, is that a saxophone? Is that another instrument? What is that specific sound? Where is it coming from? Because it's a distinct one, because it's definitely like oil and water. It kind of separates itself sonically from everything else you're hearing that we're also familiar with, but you can't quite place it. And then when it starts to grow in intensity and volume, and the phrases become longer, and eventually we get to that solo, the saxophone has fully found and earned its place in this song. And it all serves to supplement this really just simple melody, the simple kind of progression that you just have to imbue a lot of warmth, love, and soul into it, because it's really about setting the atmosphere and just kind of living in that place. And you can even think about it like when you decide in your life, where do you want to live and, sort of like permanently establish yourself. This is more towards people who are not living like the digital nomad lifestyle and not constantly up and moving, but rather love the kind of stability of being in a place that you love, in a community you're familiar with. I don't know if this is like an anthem of Mississippi and amongst Deadheads and Jerry Garcia band fans who are out there, but to me, as an outsider and not being a native Mississippian, I could imagine this filling that kind of filling that space, or at least capturing that space very well, and potentially characterizing the feel of a different environment like that. But you'll know better than I, so let me know if that is at all the case. The last thing I wanted to say, I really appreciate Jerry's singing in this one. I know in and around the various Jerry Garcia videos and band reactions I've done, and Grateful Dead reactions, and even just seeing on YouTube largely, Jerry's vocals get more flack rather than I think is deserved. I guess we can all have our tastes and preferences for what vocalists should sound like, and normatively I think Jerry falls outside of what most vocalists are doing, even for the time that a lot of this music was written and then performed. That said, having that distinct style is honestly more beneficial, and just from a utilitarian perspective, something that gives them a unique selling proposition, that like that characteristic that no other band really has. Jerry's voice is one of those elements, in my opinion. Now, it's your preference whether or not you actually like listening to his voice. I, for one, enjoy his voice. I feel like there's a lot of charm in how he sings. And for me, what matters more than like perfection and being able to sing the exact notes on a specific, perfect frequency, and you can like judge it against a pitch perfect computer and whatever. What matters more to me than that is the realness of the performance. And you could never fault the Jerry Garcia band or Grateful Dead for not being real. They are as real as it gets. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the reaction. If you did and want to request more Jerry Garcia band, Grateful Dead, or really anything else for that matter yourself, you can do so by clicking the first link in the description box below. But as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.